anyways, I just want to share with you 4 things I learned going down my journey of getting clean and coming out of the other side. I tried to stop doing drugs a couple of times with no success. And the first thing that I found when I started having success was I changed my self-image. I changed who I believed I was once I did that, I was able to quit. And let me explain, there is a significant difference between stopping something and quitting something. Stopping does not mean you will never do it again. When you quit, that means you're done, you walk away, and you're never going back. People who stop things, who even use the verbiage, yeah, I stopped doing that, they're not there yet. They still view themselves as that smoker, or that drinker, or that consumer, or whatever, right? And Eric Thomas does a great job of talking about this. He explains you have to no longer view yourself as a smoker. Like cigarettes, for example. He's like, people who smoke cigarettes, well, yeah, I quit for a few months, but I'm a smoker. What can I say? It's like 2 things. You didn't quit. You stopped, because when you quit, you don't go back. And the second thing is, until you stop viewing yourself as a smoker, you're always going to be a smoker. There's no way around it. That's the bottom line, and that's the reality of it. So the first thing is you have to change your own self-image before you can quit. And it took me realizing that I was in control of my life. It took me saying, Travis, you are responsible for the results in your life. You are not an addict. You are someone who is capable of great things, and you can make a difference in the world, but first you must quit doing drugs. It took me saying, not only am I not an addict and I'm not a user, it took me saying I'm someone who has overcome that to get to that point. I had to believe I was capable of it before I could ever do it. And that's one of the biggest things that people struggle with, is instilling that self-belief, that belief in yourself that you are capable of getting past that addiction. But that's the first one. You have to change your perspective on who you are before you can quit the substance or the alcohol or whatever it is that you're addicted to. Until you say, I'm someone who can live life without drugs. I'm someone who does live life without drugs and without drinking. I don't need to drink. I don't want to drink. You're just always going to have that itch. You may not drink, but you're always going to have that itch. And to me, that's just as bad. That's playing with fire every day. And that's no way to live. As I said, it's no way to live, and that's one of the reasons that I stopped. And this is one of the biggest factors as to why I was able to stop. So the second thing that I have learned is that the thought of never having it again is significantly worse than actually never having it again. So what does that mean? If you're someone who's never been addicted to something, you're going to have a hard time understanding this, especially if you've never been addicted to a substance. So when you think about getting off of something, instantly you're like, oh man, I'm never going to do this again. Never's a long time, and this is fun. This makes me feel better. I need this. I can't live without it. And then you never even get one day in, because the thought of not having it again is so powerful that you don't ever go a day without it. That's why people who, like if they're on probation, they have to go check in on probation, or they're going to a prison sentence, or even people who are like, I've got to go to this rehab program to get clean. The night before they go or the day before they go, they spend that entire day getting as high or as drunk as they possibly can, because the thought of not having it ever again is too overwhelming for them. At least for me, and everything I'm saying is from my personal experience and my standpoint. It's not in literature. It may be, I don't know, but this is things that I have learned in my overcoming of addictions. So number 3, you have to replace your unhealthy habits and your unhealthy friends with healthy ones. What does that look like? It doesn't look like completely eliminating anyone you ever associated with when you were an addict. It can, but it doesn't have to. For me, it looked like me becoming a hermit for about a month. I didn't drink with any of my friends. I didn't hang out with any of them. I lived with one or two of them, but outside of that, I didn't go around people. I didn't associate with people. I didn't hang out with any of them. The unhealthy habits I had of the smoking, the cigarettes, and the drinking alcohol heavily, and of course the substance abuse. I obviously cut out the substance abuse, but I couldn't drink because if I would drink, I didn't have the willpower to not go get high. So I had to stop that. So I stopped drinking. I stopped smoking cigarettes. I stopped spending time with the people that were doing the things. I stopped associating with the people that had access to the things. I deleted phone numbers from my contact list. I would see people in stores and I would go the other way. I would walk out of the store because I knew I didn't have it in me. It was nothing against them. Regardless of how they lived their life or what they were doing, I made the decision to take money out of my pocket and put it in their hand for the pills. I made the decision to take the pills out of my pocket and put them in my mouth. So it was nothing against them. It's not that, oh, you associate with people who do drugs, you're beneath me. Absolutely not. I have so much love for the people that I would get high with, that would sell me the pills, that would buy pills from me. I have so much love and respect for those people. Thankfully, I'm very happy that I can say almost every single one of those people have overcome their own addiction battles, and they're working on it. They're going through it. They're significantly better than they were when I stopped associating with them. I had to do that for me. So you have to remove those things and replace them with healthy ones. I started making newer friends, or in fact, I reestablished some friendships, thankfully, that I had been neglecting, or I doubled down on the time I spent with my friends that were with me during those addictive times, but they didn't do the drugs. Or they were always the ones trying to talk me out of getting as bad off as I did. I spent time with those types of people. I spent so much time reading and learning and just diving in, trying to figure out how to fix myself, because I felt like I was broken in a million pieces on the floor. And that's the reason I turned to addiction. So the only way I could, in my mind, not turn back to addiction was to fix the problems that existed in my life that led to me consuming substance, right? It looks like, instead of, like, when I quit cigarettes, for example, anytime I would want one, when I'd have that craving, I would do push-ups, or I would go for a jog. And not miles, I would just jog around the cul-de-sac. Like, it wasn't all of a sudden I'm a fitness freak because I quit cigarettes. I just had to do something during the peak desire, the time in which that addiction was like, that withdrawal, that craving was at its highest. I had to do something other than sit there aimlessly. So that's what I did. Jumping jacks, push-ups, and I developed this finger touching thing that I do. If you see it on YouTube or video, I'll show you. It's just like me touching the tips of each one of my fingers to my thumbs really fast. And I did that because it helped me with the hand-to-mouth motion. I could just do that and give my hand something to do. And now it's something when I run long distance, I find myself doing. It's weird, but it's just something that I've developed into a full-blown habit. And it's not a bad one, I don't think, So that's you just have to get creative with it. What can you do to replace, I'll ask you, what can you do to replace your bad habits and your unhealthy friends? Once you come out the other side of addiction, you realize that there is next to nothing that you cannot accomplish. You get off the substance and you overcome that addiction, you have an ironclad mind. You have a sharpened mindset that you believe that nothing is impossible because you've overcome the hardest thing you'll ever overcome in your life. No objection that you receive is harder than rejecting substance that you're addicted to, rejecting that drink or that pill or the cigarette or whatever it may be, right? I overcame, on a much smaller scale, I overcame my addiction. I got a job. I got a job as a car salesman. One of the next jobs I got after Waffle House. Then that didn't work out for me for various reasons. And eventually I got a job working at a hospital at entry level, no education, no industry experience. Someone took a chance on me. I'm very grateful that that person took a chance on me. And in 9 months, I was in leadership, just from pure work ethic. And everyone would complain about how hard it was working in the emergency room, and I was registering patients. I wasn't providing care. I wasn't treating patients. So I'm not trying to lead anyone to think that, but in the emergency room setting, there's a lot of shit you see that's life changing. I've seen every phase of life from beginning to end because of my mindset of I've overcome addiction. This isn't hard. I've slept in literally slept in ditches. This is a cakewalk. Um, it's a shitty way to get to that success mindset, but I don't believe there's anything in this world that I cannot overcome, that I can't outdo, and I hope someone that is struggling trying to overcome addiction, if that may be you, I hope you can take some solace in what I'm sharing, and it helps you. If you're someone that has gotten to the other side but you're still struggling with temptation, I hope this helps you. And if you know anyone who may need to hear this, who help open their eyes some, please share it. Tag them in it. Maybe not tag them publicly. Send it to them. Let them know like it's possible. You can overcome it. And I didn't go into much detail about my addiction or anything like that. I tried to keep it fairly vague because, like I said, we all have different stories. If you're someone who's overcome addiction, you have your own story, and no two are comparable. You can't compare yours. I can't compare mine. Um, it's not fair. It's not right, and honestly, it's gross to try to do. But yeah, you can overcome anything you set your mind to. So, guys, do me a favor. If you found value in this, please, leave a like, share the link. Tell someone about it, send it to 3 of your friends, whether they may need to hear this or not from an addiction standpoint. Just share it with them and let them know. I'm really trying to grow this platform and grow this program, and the only way I can do that is through support from the people that listen to it, that give me the feedback. I'm all ears on feedback. If there's anything you want me to discuss, if you want me to do things certain. Now, let me be clear, I would never take feedback and like, oh, well, they said I shouldn't do this, so I'm going to stop doing that. Probably not. I'm going to be authentic as possible. I'm going to be myself. But the point of this is to help others improve the quality of their lives. So share this, help me grow my platform and get it out there, because without you guys, I would be talking to myself. And if you talk to yourself long enough, you know what they say, you end up in the loony bin. So anyways, thank you for your time. As always, it's greatly appreciated. Until next time, y'all take care.